He's Tony. I'm Mike Sweet 10. And the action mode.
Week 10 of the Action Bowl has Pam Grier going up against Steve McQueen. Pam Grier drew the Big Dollhouse.
The Big Dollhouse,
and
yes.
Steve McQueen drew The Hunter. Mike, who you want to talk about first?
Let's do Steve McQueen.
All right, let's do Steve McQueen.
I'm out.
Hey, Pop.
Hey, Pop.
Hey, how you doing?
For those of you not familiar, this is Steve McQueen's last movie. I did a bit of digging around on this one and read about his really tragic end, which...
It was a Hodgkin's lymphoma, was it not?
Actually, no. He had mesothelioma.
That was it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which,
thank you. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Which, if you don't know,
Asbestos.
mesothelioma is the cancer that you get from breathing in asbestos.
Yeah.
And so that's what Steve McQueen had. But it's even worse than that. And I want to cover this before we go into the movie.
You don't want to hear this, but you're going to hear this.
Apparently, it had metastasized and it had spread to his liver, and he had several very large, obvious lumps on his neck and tumors in his stomach. And he tried to get an operation. He went to a Mexican clinic where they did all of this disproven treatments, and as you can imagine, it got worse. Then the tumors showed up. Then he tried to have the tumors removed, and he was told, we can't remove them because it'll kill you. So he went to a Mexican clinic again, and they did the surgery, and 12 hours after the surgery, he died of a heart attack. Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on a lighter note...
Yoo-hoo! Don't make such a fuss, for heaven's sake. He's dressing.
In this movie, Steve McQueen is a bounty hunter, and begin to give a brief little exposition of how bounty hunters came to be and how now they're practically extinct. And so he's kind of like one of the last known bounty hunters out there.
Except for dogs, the bounty
Original D.O.G. You're going back to Oklahoma, son. You're going to a motel without a window.
Yeah, except for in this case, we got Papa. And so...
What do you want?
Beer?
Papa goes out there and he,
He bounty hunts. Yes, he does.
Yes.
We're introduced to Papa where they show that he can't drive. He can't parallel park to save his life whatsoever.
What you trying to do, fool?
Parking. Sorry.
Park on the street, not on my car.
which is funny if you know anything about Steve McQueen. He's known for big action stuff, and I think he actually did race cars or do something like that.
I know Paul Newman raced. I don't know if Steve McQueen did, but is famous for, Bullet with Eleanor, the big Mustang.
But anyways, yeah, so Steve McQueen, can't drive in this movie when he's known to be a good driver in real life.
He shows up and he picks up LeVar Burton.
You Tommy Price?
Yeah.
And then while he's on his way back home, he decides that he's going to stop in some county. I don't remember. I think it's Howard County.
It doesn't matter.
Anyway, he's going to pick up another one, and he goes and visits the sheriff, and the sheriff basically says, hey, no, that's my kin. You're not allowed. Get the hell out of town.
Well, he came to pick up Billy Joe Pace, take him back to Los Angeles.
So I hear. My recommendation to you, Mr. Thorson, is to get out of town. Don't argue with me, Mr. Thorson.
Now look, Sheriff, I've come over 1,500 miles.
And he goes and he captures that, perp. And then takes him back, and then when he's dropping off Geordie LaForge, tells him, hey, tell the judge that you work for me.
And when he asks you, you tell him you got a job working for me, and there's your dress. Here you go, Pop. Thanks.
And so then he goes home to his hot teacher wife, and then
Girlfriend.
Girlfriend. I'm sorry,
Pregnant girlfriend on top of it.
Yeah, aspiring wife. But and a house full of his buddies and friends, and Geordie LaForge is there, and he's decided that he's going to start fixing all the electronics in the house.
What are you doing with my TV set?
Your picture's no good, man.
The picture was perfect.
No, see, the color was off.
He doesn't fix a goddamn thing. Nothing. Everything's apart. Everything. The TV, the toaster, the radio in his car, jukebox.
Then basically
go back to reading, buddy.
Yeah, from there, basically, Papa gets a job, and then he goes out and he captures that person, and then he heads to the house, and then we get a little bit of dynamic interplay with his girlfriend, and then repeat until the end, where the meth head that has been following him around, that has gotten out of prison, has decided he's going to kidnap his girlfriend, and then, Steve McQueen blows up a school to stop him.
Yeah, so that's the overarching thing. Is the guy that Papa busts, years before, gets out of jail and is harassing him and the school teacher, which kind of sucks that they just kind of left that on the table. They didn't do a whole lot with it till the very end.
Yeah.
He pops up here and there. It's like a little seasoning, but they use enough seasoning. They should have been in there more prominently. And that to me is like the only real knock against this movie, because Steve McQueen is great on screen. His interactions with the school teacher are great. His interactions with like everybody in that community, in that environment is really well done, especially him and his I guess whoever the guy that actually runs the bail bondsman's place that he works for.
Well, one of the ones that he works for.
The negotiating back and forth between them, that's good banter there.
Assault, attempted murder, armed robbery. A very bad boy.
No, he's a good boy. He's a little mixed up, maybe.
The guys that just stay at his house all the time, there's always good banter there as well.
Can we watch the set in the bedroom?
No.
And the action's actually really good. There's some really good driving scenes and stunt scenes with vehicles, even though Papa can't drive with the shit in this movie. But yeah, the only real downfall for me, or the big sin, is the fact they don't really focus enough on the soon-to-be kidnapper.
Tell Papa Mason said soon. Real soon.
Later in the movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that you got a lot more out of this movie than I did. Steve McQueen is a commanding presence. You put a camera on him, and he's real easy to watch. He's fun to watch too. But apparently, Steve McQueen wanted to direct this film, and they told him no. But apparently, they got Bill, whatever his name is, the guy that's listed as the director on this, and Steve McQueen wound up doing most of the directing anyway. And this comes off like a very much a vanity project, because it's a lot of it is callbacks to other Steve McQueen films, a lot of the stuff that he's doing, a lot of the shtick that he's doing. And then a lot of it just seems like a non sequitur checklist. It's like, oh, we get the first one where he goes and he picks up Geordie LaForge, and rather than them like fleshing out why he gave him that job or that relationship and why Papa chose him to be the one that he was going to bring into the fold, he just shows up at the house.
The judge let me off when I mentioned your name.
And he's like, yeah, I talked to the judge and I told him I work for you, and he let me off. And it's like, Okay, that was very, I would like you to flesh that out a little bit. Give me a little bit more. Who is this judge? What is this relationship? Does he owe Papa a favor? Has Papa just been very good to him? What is that about? You know, does he just know Papa and trust him? It would have been nice if they had bothered with that. And then there's the table full of people that are playing cards every time that he shows up. We get no information about any of them.
Sure. Hey, Papa, come on in. Plenty of room.
Hey, we need another sucker.
Toddy wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the fact that they hang out at Papa's house when he's not there with his pregnant girlfriend.
Hi.
Morning.
Who are you?
I live here.
Oh, make yourself at home.
So, well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, it would have been nice.
No, you implied that, which basically says you
it would have been
said
nice
that.
if they had fleshed any of those relationships
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Now,
yeah. How does Papa know this guy? How does he know this guy? How does he know this guy?
Yeah.
Why are they always at his house playing cards?
That's kind of the questions that I'm looking for. Now, his relationship with his girlfriend, the school teacher, they actually do spend some time developing that, and I appreciated that. And the problem is that relationship is so well represented on film, it really gives you this glaring contrast of all these other relationships that aren't fleshed out in the course of the same film.
One bets. King 3.
No, get out!
And I realize you got to pick and choose your battles when you got runtime, but there's like, he goes on the bounty for the two brothers that are crazy, that throw dynamite at everything. And he's chasing them through the cornfield with the combine. And visually, that's a really striking, interesting scene. But then it ends like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. When they back over the dynamite and it blows the car to pieces, and he shows up at the car rental place and he's got them handcuffed on the flatbed trailer and what's left of the car there, and he walks up to the rental agent and drops the keys in her hand.
I love that. I thought it was funny as hell. I got a kick out of that. I got a kick out of that whole fucking scene. Especially like when Papa first gets into that fucking Trans Am and can't drive that fucking car. That is the best recurring joke, is the fact that man cannot drive, and they do that so well every time he gets in the vehicle. It's so obvious he can't drive with the shit.
I do agree with that, but the thing is like so he goes, he does that job, and then like he's told, you know, Anthony, whatever his name is.
And I don't want another restaurant. I already got 2 of them.
You mean we lose the restaurant?
I know more about the parents and the fact that they're going to lose their restaurant because they put it up for collateral with the bail bondsman. But, you know, they still think that their son is a good kid. He's just got in with the wrong crowd and blah, blah. I know more about that relationship than I do 90% of Papa's relationships in this film. That's problematic to me.
Fair enough.
But then when he goes to arrest Anthony, and you have the shootout at the hotel, and then the chase scene.
Great chase scene, by the way. The action of that chase scene is fantastic.
Yes, it is. There's that bit where they're out on the street. They finally come down off the roof. So roof chase scene, that portion of it I really love. When they get down to the street, and somehow Anthony has forgot how crosswalks and streets and sidewalks work. And therefore he's got to bump into every car and all this. I thought that was a little heavy-handed. But when they get into the cars and they're chasing up the parking garage, when Papa is driving the tow truck and he hits what I'm assuming is a pimp and his Cadillac. The truck gets stuck and he's just got to continue to drive and he's just tearing the whole side of the car up. That had me laugh out loud. That was really, really great. But then the ending of that, where Anthony is basically pushed off, drives off the top of the parking garage and crashes into the water. I thought, whoa, that was a hell of a tone shift you did there. So I kind of feel like him hitting the pimp's Cadillac should have come earlier in the chase scene so that it had a little bit of time to breathe before the tragic end. That's just, that's me. It was just such a hard gear shift. It just kind of felt out of place on that.
I don't know. I think you forget what the name of this show is. This is the Action Bowl.
No. I understand
not the
that.
Drama Bowl.
No, I get that. But
So,
good drama informs action.
I think you're kind of missing the point on this one. This is supposed to be a fun, silly film, and you're like just asking for more than what this was intended to be. But go ahead, finish.
I'm just saying, like, I just feel like there's sufficient source material. Papa is an interesting enough person.
Mm-hmm.
So much so somebody wrote a book about him. Mm-hmm. So much so that they decided to adapt that book into a film. And I feel like I don't know that this did him justice. And I don't feel like if Steve McQueen had known that this was going to be his last film, I don't think that there's some of the choices that were in here would have been handled the way that they were. I know that he had 2 more films in production that he was planning on doing after this one, but this is a film that apparently has been very divisive from the word go. Even though this is Steve McQueen's last film, critics split down the middle on this one, and it's no different today.
Yeah. So. No, it absolutely isn't. And I agree with some of the points you're saying. You're making good points. Like, I think if they would have had fewer bounty hunters or bounties to go after, you could have streamlined that, and then you could have had that time that you wanted to develop some other relationships or kind of informing more of some of the other relationships that had going on. Definitely would have helped, and it would have elevated this movie to something more than just standard popcorn fare. So I get all of that.
This feels like a movie that was made by Steve McQueen for Steve McQueen fans, and if you're not already in that camp, don't bother. This is not for you. That's kind of what this feels like to me. And I'm not saying that in a disparaging way. I'm just saying it as this is, 1980 on this one?
I think it was.
Yeah, this feels more like product than, anything else on that. It feels like Steve McQueen got creative control on this one, and he decided he was going to juice it for the bucks. And it's not a bad movie. I just want you to know this right now. I didn't dislike this film. I just see the narrative issues with it, because cutting out the one bounty at the very beginning, the one where he goes and he talks to the sheriff, and then it turns out that it's his nephew, which they do nothing with after that.
Yes. I wish they would have went back to that.
If they had lopped that 10 minutes out and dedicated to any of these other issues, this movie would have been infinitely better for it. Because that whole chasing, he breaks into the house and he's checking out the antique train, and then the guy comes storming out. And apparently he just got done having sex, and Papa has to use his, stun gun.
Hey, that ain't fair. You pudhead.
Yeah.
None of it went anywhere. None of it added anything to it other than a bad punchline.
Yeah.
For a joke that didn't land in the first place.
Yeah.
So.
I enjoyed that scene. I agree with you though. Like, it should have went somewhere later. The sheriff should have came back. Like, they should have came back to play out at some other point.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing is, like, Geordie LaForge on this one, yes, he takes all this stuff apart, and yes, he's still working on it, and yes, he's going to get it going again.
What are you doing to the toaster?
I'm fixing it.
We'll fix the TV set first.
Just see it out there. It's almost done.
Just having Papa walk in and go, "Are you actually going to fix anything?"
I think he does say that.
If he did, I missed it. But it would have been nice as a punchline for all of the stuff that he's taken apart. Because there's the radio in the car, then there is the television set, and then there is the toaster oven in the kitchen. So
I'm pretty sure the jukebox is in there as well, but I'm 100% positive on that one.
So anyway, this is the Action Bowl.
It is.
So.
Not the Drama Bowl.
Let's talk numbers. Let's talk numbers.
All right. I'll go first because I'm sure I scored this much higher than you did. Plots of 5. There's nothing groundbreaking here. There's nothing awful about it either. It's to me, it's plenty serviceable. I got a feeling you're going to do this like a 3. Style for me is a 6. The action in here is really good, really well done. I was very entertained by the action, which going into the entertainment, for me, was a 7. I really enjoyed this film. It's a fun popcorn film. You don't have to take it seriously. You get in there, you enjoy Steve McQueen doing Steve McQueen fucking shit, and actually doing some stuff that's kind of anti-Steve McQueen shit. Like again, you expect this guy to be able to, like, you know, drive a car and do stunts, but his character is quite the opposite.
Get it on the highway.
Yeah, so I loved all this stuff. So to me, it's an 18.
So, well, for the plot, I gave it a 4. And the reason, I've listed out all of my reasons for it. There was plenty of opportunities and plenty of interesting characters that they just didn't bother to do anything with. And again, it feels very much rinse and repeat. It's just one of those, he gets a bounty, he goes out and he does that bounty, then he comes back and he does it again. And, you know, doing that a couple times, sure, but like, you know, 5 times in a row, it's just kind of like, there's no surprises, you know how this is going to play out. For the style, I gave it a 5. The action scenes are good. The comedic stuff is funny. You know, there's some really interesting, well done stuff in here. The performances are fine. You know, there's nothing that I have that I can point at that can go, here's a problem with this. I can look at it all and go, this was all good. If there had been a better script, this movie would have been better for it. So for the entertainment, I gave it a 3. I was not into this. I mean, I made it through it and I wasn't like, oh God, this is terrible. I was just kind of like, okay, that was a movie, you know? So for me, the score on this one is a 12. So that is Steve McQueen, The Hunter. Coming up next, Pam Grier, The Big Dollhouse. Stay tuned. So round 2, Pam Grier shows up and she's showing us all the goods. In The Big Dollhouse.
Green, scared, and pretty.
Let's just get through this real fast. This movie is dumb as hell. This movie is stupid.
She say she want to talk to you.
It is the film that was one of many women in prison. Apparently, if you're a lady and you go to the Philippines, don't get in trouble, because it's all bad. But it's bad in the best possible way.
Collier murder. 99 years hard labor.
Fat chance.
Sid Haig
Yes.
is in this,
Yeah.
not looking like himself. He actually looks like a person.
I got some good pineapple for you today. How about you take this on the house?
Yeah.
He doesn't look creepy. And then his buddy looks like Starsky or Hutch, I don't remember, but with a mustache.
David Soul. David Soul with the stash. Yeah, he kind of does a little bit. Yeah. They make a fun little duo.
They do.
Time they're liable to lock us in here for the night. That wouldn't be such a bad idea, huh? It would be if it was just you and me in the cell, Fred.
But let's get into the plot of this.
The plot of this is a hot redhead gets caught doing a crime and she gets thrown in jail and she becomes Pam Grier's bitch.
Here, honey. You can bed down over here where I can take care of you.
Second bitch.
Oh,
You're
yes,
ahead of bitch.
yes. Not even a bottom bitch, just one of the floaters. And she gets thrown in the cell with a bunch of hot ladies, and they do hot lady in prison things.
Get her all caught. Come on, make her confess.
Oh, come on, you guys. What are you doing? Oh, cut it out. Oh.
It's like showering and fighting, and I think they invented mud wrestling for this film. I'm not sure. I don't care. They have to cut down some sugar cane and do laundry. And then apparently there's one of the prison guards, one of the head prison guards, actually, whenever an inmate commits a further crime, they get taken away to be interrogated, and if they don't answer the questions, there's a whole torture chamber, and there's a mystery of some man in a hood. I think it's Cobra Commander on his day off.
Yes. Yes, thank you. It's the first thing I thought of as soon as I saw it. It's like, oh, Cobra Commander.
He sits and watches as the head prison guard gets something out of these ladies, and there's the 2 coconuts on the boobs thing, and I immediately was like, hey, they stole that for the Princess Bride.
Coconuts on the boobs thing. I don't remember the coconuts on the boobs thing. Wait,
I will throw the footage right
I've just sucked 1 year of your life away.
Well, describe it to me, because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
She has the inmate strapped down on the table, and then she has the 2 suction cups that are over the boobs.
Oh,
and
okay, well, those ain't coconuts. Those are suction cups. Well, they appear to be electrodes on the nipples, is how I took it, because she had a thing around her head looked like it was attached to some electrical gear. So yeah.
Yep, it's that kind of movie. Anyway, I immediately had flashbacks to the Princess Bride, and I was laughing hysterically at that scene. And I kept waiting for him to be all.
And remember, this is for posterity, so be honest.
So anyway, our gaggle of inmates, they decide that they've had too much, things have gone too far, and by damn it, that they're gonna plan an escape with Sid Haig and Starsky, and then shenanigans ensue. And there's a big hairy, there's a whole subplot with the doctor who's kind of a good guy who's there to try to protect the girls, but he also has a thing for the warden.
For example, you're so much younger than I expected and more beautiful.
Well, thank you.
And the warden's all like, no, I'm sure if she's bruised, she had it coming.
Yeah, he's actually just trying to do the right thing, but the problem is the warden is Cobra Commander.
Yes.
Spoilers.
Spoilers, yeah.
Dietrich.
So
the shootout to get out of the prison was immensely satisfying. Getting the guard drunk was funny.
That
as
was
hell.
funny. That was funny. Sid Haig's character has the lion's share of the comedic moments in this movie, and also some of the sleaziest.
You won't die from this bullet, Harry, but you'll wish you had.
All right, let me get a run at it.
As well.
He's by far the creepiest member of the cast on this one.
But yet still kind of likable, like
agreeable. Yeah.
He's the Paul Newman of this one. So if you know what that is, he's the likable scumbag.
Yeah. You're not wrong. Somehow, even though he's completely repulsive, you're just kind of like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, I'd have a beer with Sid. So.
I mean, he's just trying to get some, and the funny thing is, he talks about trying to get some from these ladies in prison to his buddy, and what was it, Zap or something like that?
Yeah.
Zap.
This girl, she had a knife. Zap. R-A-P-E, Zap.
For something.
Something.
Yeah, and his. Sid Haig never gets zapped, but his buddy, like the very next day, gets zapped.
Yeah.
By the hot
blonde. Yeah. and just know this: the appeal of this film is the fact that there is just a plethora of super hot women, and they have no issues with showing the goodies. So,
no, they don't.
Every one of them is spectacularly hot.
As a matter of fact, Pam Grier is probably the least attractive of the girls in the prison.
I'm going to say that for my money, you have the 2 redheads, both smoking hot. Mm-hmm. The blonde, completely smoking hot. The 2 brunettes, the one that is the revolutionary. Just like, so you're not wrong. Pam Grier is the lesser woman in that cell, but she's also the most domineering personality of all of them, because you have the one redhead who's a heroin junkie.
She's only dominated over bitches.
Well, yeah.
And you gotta keep that pimp hand strong. So I get that.
Go, Lucian. Go. Come on. Come on, Mendoza. Come on. That's it. Go, boy. That's it. Come on, baby. That's...
But when she tries to tangle with the other two girls, especially the revolutionary and the blonde kicks her ass in the mud wrestling contest. So
yes.
Well, you're the boss. I know you're the boss. And don't forget you said that.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah.
But I mean, to get into brass tacks on this one, it's fun, it's silly, it's sleazy, it's pretty much everything you want from a movie of this type. It is far better than what's that piece of crap that we watched with the vagina monologues?
Oh God, the Bruno Mattei Violence in a Women's Prison.
Yeah.
So
way better than that.
I'm surprised that this movie is surprisingly engaging. I mean, the fact that here we are, we've seen this movie one time. This movie's 50 years old, and we can tell you all the backstories for every woman that was in that prison cell, and Sid Haig, and his buddy, and the warden, and the doctor. I mean,
yeah, surprisingly competent.
I'm gonna say this was competently made. Any way you want to cut it, and even weirder is that this movie was shot on good film because the restoration of this is gorgeous. The film actually looks like a movie. It doesn't look like it was shot on video. This ain't no gator bait bullshit. This ain't no, we shot it on 16 mil and then blew it up to a 35 for our big theatrical release in Estonia. This is a legit movie that is surprisingly well crafted. So, and I have no other way to put it than that.
It does look cheap though. It does look like there's zero production quality or value in this at all. The sets look shitty and thrown together. The torture dungeon, you know, doesn't look any better than my bases.
Cobra Commander's costume ain't cheap, man.
Well, it's Cobra Commander's sister, I'm guessing, or cousin or something. I don't know.
Ex-wife.
That very well could be. That very well could be. I don't know. But I mean, you can definitely tell it's a low budget movie.
Oh yeah. But, no, I'm not saying that this is a high dollar affair by any stretch of the imagination. But this movie knew exactly what it was, and it did it sincerely. And that's the best way that I can put it.
And better than any right it has, that it has to be. I mean, because let's be honest. I mean, a movie like this should not, like you said, should not be this competent or make sense. You know, there's very few things in here other than like the torture scenes that are ridiculous.
Yeah. The torture, I was going to say, the shootouts are surprisingly good.
Yeah.
When they go through with this escape at the very end and they're shooting up the lights and they're shooting up the prison guards and all of that, it's a legit action sequence on there. No bullshit. No like, okay, we're going to have the pretty girl shooter gun over there and, you know, we don't have a lot of money for blank, so just fire once, honey, and we'll just have that lady fall down over there. No, they're lighting that whole place up.
Yeah.
No bullshit about it. So,
they had the unlimited ammo cheat, for sure.
And I'm okay with that in the sense as well.
Absolutely, me too.
It feels dirty to talk about scores when it comes to this movie, but let's get to it.
So, the plot's a 4. I mean, it's women in prison. They're trying to escape and get tortured. I mean, it's not high art here, okay? Style is also 4. I mean, you can tell it's very low budget, but there is entertainment here, and this is where it shines, and entertainment is a 6. You cannot watch this movie and not be entertained. So
there you go.
14.
That's kind of hilarious. For the plot, I gave it a 4. Like I said, no two ways about it. This movie is dumb as hell, but I was engaged the entire time. I was like, how dumb is it? so a 4 it is. For the style, I gave it a 6. I gave it a 6 because, again, for all of its lack of budget, it's incredibly coherent. Again, the people that made this film cared about what they were making, and it shows, and I don't know a better way to explain that. But this movie is far better than it has any right to be. And then for the entertainment, it's a 6. I was completely engaged. I was enter-fucking-tained on this one. So for me, the score is a 16. So we have some big math to do on this one. Coming up next, this week's results. Stay tuned.
The few weeks here has been too much for someone of this delicate.
So week 10 of the Action Bowl, Pam Grier going up against Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen, the hunter, you scored it an 18, I scored it a 12. That gives us an average score of 15. Pam Grier, the big dollhouse, you scored it a 14, I scored it a 16, which gives us an average score of 15. So you know what that means, kids.
Action, rock, paper, scissors!
I will be playing for Pam Grier. Mike will be playing for Steve McQueen. Best 2 out of 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
One for McQueen.
One for McQueen. One for Pam Grier. Two for Pam. Pam is moving on. Steve McQueen is going into the Action Bowl. A shame. I'm gonna leave that one to you. You handle that as you will.
I wasn't prepared for this. It's a shame you had to go. I'm sure you had some damn good stuff in there, but man, that's actionable, baby.
So coming up next, our drawing for week 11. Stay tuned. So week 11 of the Action Bowl has Scott Adkins going up against Lucy Liu. I will be drawing for Scott Adkins. Mike will be drawing for Lucy Liu. So let's find out what we're watching.
So whatever I grab here, I hope it's as good as Rise Blood Hunter. I mean,
so do I, actually.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel like there's a bunch of Lucy Liu films that got lost in the shuffle of the mid-2000s that were probably actually really decent films that nobody bothered to watch.
Well, here's another one. Future World. No idea what the hell this is. Zero clues.
You and me both. I'm excited. It might be another import Blu-ray purchase for me. I don't know. We'll find out.
All right. So we'll draw from Mr. Adkins here.
All right. I want that one. All right. So Scott Adkins is going to be represented by Ninja. One word, no fucking about. If I'm not mistaken, Shane Kasugi co-stars with him in this one. It's Sho Kasugi's son.
Oh.
Which we actually saw in Enter the Ninja, the little kid that kicked the lady's ass and then beat up the dude with nunchucks. So
I mean, with the name Ninja in the title and the fact that Ninja is the title.
Ninja?
Ninja.
I want a ninja.
Yeah, it's hard to go wrong. So man, if I had to pick like a favorite just out of the gate, man, it might be Ninja.
This has the potential to be either a complete blowout or super close. I have no fucking idea.
No, me either. I just hope they're watchable.
I'm sure one of them at least will be viewable. So that is our picks for week 12 of the Action Bowl. Stay tuned.
So that's week 10. Join us for week 11. We have Lucy Liu and Future World for Scott Adkins and Ninja.
We will catch you then.